So I've been wanting to make this video for the longest time, but I struggled with making it easy to understand, and I hope the way that I've broken it down, it helps you to understand how to pick a foundation shade. So there are two things that you need to understand in order to develop an eye for picking your foundation shade. The two things that you need to understand are shade and undertone. Shade is the lightness or darkness of a foundation shade. It can be easily visualized when you do everything in black and white. Some are grayer, some are light gray, some are darker, almost black, white. So when everything is colorless, when you take out the warm tones, when you take out the cool tones, oranges, greens, reds, everything, you're able to see what's lighter and what's darker. I'm sure you guys have seen in the makeup world labels such as light, light medium, medium, medium dark, dark. So that refers to how light the product is or how dark the product is, or if it's right in the middle where it's medium. Once you guys understand how light or dark you are, then you can start paying attention to the undertone. The undertone refers to the essential color of your skin. Nowadays, we refer to it as a cool undertone, a warm undertone, and a neutral undertone. And there are certain girls that have that olive undertone, which I sometimes feel like I have an olive undertone, but sometimes foundations don't cater to those shades. It's very hard to find a foundation that caters to olive tones. So I tend to gravitate more towards warm tones or even sometimes neutral tones. But if I'm lucky enough to find an olive tone, then that is great. There are three things that you want to consider, or three questions you want to ask yourself. First question, what do you tend to look better in? Do you look better in gold jewelry or do you look better in silver jewelry? And if you can't decide or you think you look good in both of them, that is possible. You might be in one of those neutral groups. I feel like I look better in gold jewelry just because when I wear silver, it's okay, but I feel like my skin is fighting too much with the silver to stand out. Whereas if I wear the gold, I feel like they're just kind of like favoring each other, and I feel like it's just like a harmonious combo, if that makes sense. So I feel like I look better in gold jewelry. Another question that you can ask yourself is, if you were not to use any sunscreen, do you burn easily? Do you tan easily? Or both? Do you get a little bit of both? And if you tan easily, you're most likely going to have those warm undertones. If you burn easily, you're most likely going to have a cool undertone. And if you feel like you get a little bit of both, then most likely you're going to have a little bit of both. And last but not least, you want to ask yourself, what color are your veins? For example, I don't know if you guys can see this vein right here. It tends to look green to me, and usually when your veins look more on the greener side, that means that you are most likely to have a warm undertone. Why? Because veins are blue-purple, and when you have a warm, like yellow undertone, then blue and yellow make green. And that's why my veins tend to look more green, because my undertones are more of like that yellowy undertone. If your veins look more on the bluer, purplier side, then that means that your skin tone is more on the cooler side. There are people that can't decipher whether they're green or blue-purple, or they have a little bit of both. Again, that means that you're more of a neutral undertone. All right, so once you understand those two factors, it'll be easier for you to choose a shade for yourself. And it doesn't come that easy. I feel like it comes with practice. But the moment you start realizing, oh, that shade looks cool, that shade looks warm, it's easier for you to determine what your shade is. I have some of my foundation shades right here that I normally use. For example, this one is the Clinique Better or Beyond Perfecting, and this one is in the shade Golden Neutral. So this one is going to be more of like a yellow undertone, but not too much. And when you blend it in, I feel like this one is a pretty good match for my skin once you blend it in. I have a foundation shade that I don't think I chose the right shade for, and sometimes I still use it in my videos and make it work. But it is the Healthy Elixir by CoverGirl, and this is in the shade Nude Beige. Now, a lot of nude beiges tend to have more of like a cooler undertone, and I should have known that, but I just really wanted to try this foundation when it came out. But I'm going to put it right around here so you guys can see how it looks more pinkier, and it almost clashes with my skin. And I'll blend it in so you guys can see it a little bit more. It does match me in the fact that it's like the perfect like lightness and darkness. But if you really take a closer look, you could almost see how this one tends to look a little bit more cooler, whereas this one is more on the warmer side, and I feel like that just looks a lot better, where this one makes me look a little bit ashy. So yeah, those are the two things that I wanted you guys to kind of like look at separately and together, so that way it allows you to choose your foundation shade a little bit more easier. I hope it was a little bit helpful. If you guys still have any questions in regards to this topic, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll try my best to answer them. But yeah, I think that is it for today's video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if it was somewhat helpful. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.